receives Kiros a big hug of respect. Excellent, nice work from both of them. Joe Cordina will get the win. But I tell you what, Jarrett Kiros can be very proud of himself. We'll have him back, and Cordina can move on. Just what we needed.
Yeah, do you know what? I think a number of boxes being ticked there. Like you said, the opponent there, Quiros, he'll get opportunities off the back of that. Showed that he can fight and he's willing to get in there with anyone. Barry said, former world champion, first 10 rounder. Gary Lockett just looking at me and saying, he was tough, wasn't he? But yeah, and then look, Joe Cordina's got the rounds. He would have brushed off some of those cobwebs, and he can move forward into big, meaningful fights where potentially, some sort of eliminator or something, because he'll be desperate and hungry, Barry, to get back to fight for titles.
Yeah, and because I thought it was a decent performance, but for his level and for world level, it wasn't a world performance, so nobody at world level is going to be shaking in their boots. And that'll do him a favour, because they'll think, he's past himself one day now, or that's an opponent for me, perfect opponent. I just see Abdullah Mason wins the world title now. He'll think Cordina's perfect opponent, former world champion, didn't look great, didn't get rid of a Mexican in his first 10 rounder. You can sell that narrative, and then they'll give him the opportunity, and it's a really hard fight for him. Or Sam Nooks, if he gets the win over Nelson, he gets the opportunity for the world title there, because even though it was a decent performance, it wasn't stellar. And so it shouldn't be when you've been out of the ring for over 12 months. And coming back with a loss. So you've got the ring rust, you've got all those things we talked about that are important for moving on to the next step.
Fabulous division at world level, the 135-pounders. And this guy's back, Shakur Stevenson against William Zepeda. Also, Hamza Shiraz and Evan Gabalanga. Really good fight night. Ring Magazine 3. Can't wait for it. New York, a week today. Live on the zone. Gervonta Davis, we say goodbye to Vasily Lomachenko. What a wonderful career he had. Keyshawn Davis, Andy Cruz, Frank Martin, a fantastic division. Joe Cordina is part of it now. It's a victory. And how wide did the judges have it?
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action here in Manchester, we go to the judges' score totals. Bob Williams, 100-90. Martin Lesnar, 99-91. Nerman Adjevich, 98-92, all three. Your winner by unanimous decision, and the new WBO Global Lightweight Champion, the Welsh Wizard, Joe Cordina.
Every round on one card by 8 and by 6. That's right. And Derek Gonzalez Quiros has the embrace. He has learned a great deal tonight, the Mexican. Really good experience for him. But it is Joe Cordina's evening. He has the WBO Global Belt. It's only a minor title, but it'll put him in a really good position. The former world super featherweight champion, Barry, is now at lightweight and a danger. Super featherweight.
I think he's good enough. He has the ability to win another world title if he gets the opportunity. And I think he will, because he's been a former champion. I'm going to see that as not a stellar performance. I think it elevates him to get an opportunity. So I think he's the weakest link, and he's not. But I thought it was an okay performance for being on for so long, in my opinion. He'd be disappointed, but those rounds, as Dan already said, are going to be invaluable for him now if he goes on to a bigger fight.
It's job done. Job done there. He's done what he set out to do, get the win. He's got rounds now, and he can push on to bigger and better things, Adam.
He's had a really tough time, Joe Cordina, waiting to come back after that loss to Anthony Kakacha. He'll be delighted to get 10 rounds under his belt. He's got a little belt too, and he'll be speaking with Charlie and Eddie as well.
Carl, what did you make of that? Gonzalez certainly played his part in the ring tonight.
Yeah, he did. I mean, it was a really competitive fight. Even the rounds were competitive, but Joe clearly won the fight. I think one of the scorecards I had at this game were I think I had to give the Mexican something, maybe 2 rounds, but with
quite a long time. He needed a hard fight just to get back into it. Got the rounds under his belt as well. I thought it was a very, very good performance. But I like Quiros as well. I like to see him back. He's typical Mexican. Gives it 100%.
Ollie, we were talking about ring rust heading into that one tonight. As Cole said, in terms of cobwebs being blown away, that was probably pretty bang on for Joe Cordina tonight.
He shook a lot of them off because he was quality from the get-go. I thought he did lose a couple of rounds. I thought Gonzalez showed some really good stuff in some rounds, but overall, Joe Cordina was the boss all night from the start to the end. I thought the cleaner shots were from him, the more hurtful shots were from him. And I just thought this game was better all round tonight. Gonzalez was still in the front both the times and throwing cuts and combinations, but nothing as serious no longer. The powerful shots and the hurtful shots in the Cordina.
Okay, let's hear it from the world champion. He's standing by with Johnny Bob.
Cheers, Jamie, and congratulations. Joe Cordina joins me here ringside. A couple of tricky moments in there. He can certainly punch, but back out here in Manchester, how do you assess your performance?
Yeah, it was alright considering 40 months up the ring. I thought it was a good performance considering. But got a little mark there, a little boo-boo. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I needed something like that, 10 rounds. It was tricky. There was nothing to watch on it. So I was going off purely his record on Box Rec and looking at his knockouts, and I needed something like that to be switched on because I'll be honest with you, Gary picked someone who was 19 and 0 with one draw, but with a lot less knockouts. And I know someone like that, I'm not going to respect their power. So in the back of my mind, subconsciously, I might take it lightly. This one, I wasn't able to take it lightly because of his knockout ratio. But I'm actually getting there. My timing is way off, but I needed something like that to get me back into the mix and fight to come back with.
You talk about your timing now. I asked you earlier on in the week, I said, look, it's a comeback. You said, don't call it a comeback, but there is that element of the ring rust and just getting out and getting those 10 rounds under the bag. Obviously now teaming up with Gary, new beginnings, and then you can now start to get forward, a bit of momentum in your stride as well.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, when I was home, and I was training in Essex and I was coming home, I was always training in Gary's gym, but I was never spending time one-to-one with him. Obviously, I was in and around the boys, but now I'm with Gary. I'm doing my one-to-one sessions with him, and we're practicing certain things, and we're still learning. We're learning each other and getting used to each other. So I think the next fight, my next camp, will be a lot better, and it'll be a lot sharper. Joe Cordina, and he's the one that we used to see. But listen, nevertheless, it was a good performance considering 40 months out of the ring and quality of opponent I come back to.
Consummate professional, Gary. Moving forward, same as what Joe says, look, just get out, you've got that momentum now, you've worked together, you know how capable he is, everyone knows just how talented Joe Cordina is. Back onto world ones at 135 pounds.
Well, listen, he's one of the most talented fighters in Britain, I'd say. But he's had 14 months out of the ring. We haven't really sort of spent enough time together, really, to bond. But listen, he had to bite down on his gun shield a couple of times tonight just to get through. I mean, Eddie sent me a couple of opponents. I picked a Spanish guy who got 6 stoppages out of 20, and he said, nah, let's pick this Mexican who's 13 stoppages out of 17. I was like, are you mad? He went, no, I need to be switched on. So listen, don't worry listening to me, you know. But no, listen, it was a good 10 rounds. I prefer that he had the 10 rounds rather than going out and blowing someone away in 1 or 2 rounds. Get rid of the ring rust, and then the next fight will be a lot better.
Promoter Eddie, it's always squeaky bum time a little bit when you bring the Mexicans overseas. People talk online, oh God, what's going to happen? But Joe Good there did what he needed to do, and now activity.
Yeah, I was with Gary. I thought I preferred the Spaniard, to be honest with you. I thought it was a much easier night, but what we got is the real quality opponent. Every time we bring a Mexican fighter over, you get someone who's game, who can punch, who's got a great tank as well, great engine. And you know, I'm proud of Joe because he was getting a little bit tough in there at times, and they're the kind of fights that when you don't really want it anymore, when you don't really fancy it anymore, it goes the other way. And like Gary said, he bit down his gum shield, stood there, fought out with him at times, and showed the desire that he has left. Quality fighter, and one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in Britain, we know that. And that was a big 10 rounds bank. Now he gets to work with Gary, out again around October time in a bigger fight. Got this now, top 15 in the world. We want to try and get in a position to fight the winner of Abdullah Mason against Stan Mokes. That's the aim, to try and become a 2-division 3-time world champion. And that was a solid 10 rounds banked. after a long 14 months out of the ring.
Eddie, there was a little bump in the road, but you started the magical journey together. Those nights in Cardiff were fantastic. Abu Dhabi, you've done so much together. You talk about that world title. That has to be next. He's clearly got the talent. I suppose not next, but the journey to that title at 135.
Yeah, of course, that's the aim now. You know, to be a two-division world champion, he's got the ability to do it. And now it's just about getting that one more fight this year, a bigger fight. You know, not you know, with bigger money, because as well, also, you know, this is a situation where Joe's got to provide for his family. He's had a couple of big paydays, but we've still got a long way to go. That fight was about desire. That fight was more about desire, because I said to him after, you know, he had the loss, then he had the Shakur Stevenson fight, that fell through, and you're just waiting around for an opportunity. It's not coming, so you've got to get in there and have that kind of fight. And if you haven't got the desire anymore, if you don't fancy it, those nights become horrible and turn you off the game. But he showed he come through, won every round, and he looked like he was enjoying it at times. And he chose that opponent. You know, and that shows you the desire. He didn't want an easy touch. He wanted 10 good rounds with Gary. And that was a big 10 rounds banked.
Go to you moving forward.
Yeah, well, they're going about Mexicans coming over and shocking everyone. And they're tough, they're this, they're that. But I'm Welsh, I'm Maltese, that's a dangerous mix. So, yeah, bring on any Mexican. I don't care who it is, bring them over. I'm going to stop them in their tracks. But before I go, a little shout out to the family of Diego Jota and his brother. Sadly lost his wife, him and his brother. So, my condolences to his family, and God rest them both.
Really well said, Joe. Thank you very much, and congratulations on a great win. Back to winning ways.
Yeah, Joe Cordina picks up that WBO Global Lightweight title, and as you heard mentioned there, the full title will be contested, the WBO belt, in November, Carl, between the two Masons and Stan Knights. When you look at this lightweight division now, though, guys, it's nice and easy. You look at the Ring Magazine, top 5, like the Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Williams, Napoleon, 2 and 3, they fight, of course, next week in New York, Randy Rosetta, Olympic champion Andy Cruz, so to say, nice and easy. But where do you see Joe Cordina potentially slotting in here?
When you mentioned their names, not yet. So, you know, that's just being brutally honest. So, it's not they can't, and it's not they can't be people in and around there. So, be contenders, look for number 2, number 3, and that's what you want.
Young kid, he's very, very good, but if he's got stand up to win that fight, it's because of his ruggedness, his toughness, and experience. That's probably, if you're too buddy, you're probably looking at that route more so than Shakur or whoever else. I mean, the lightweight division is very, very hot at the minute. But Joe deserves to be amongst them. He's a great fighter, but another couple of fights maybe before he gets there. Keep getting his growth there a little bit. Keep learning with Gary Lockett and keep getting better. And no doubt he can do it. No doubt Joe can become a two-win champion.
And in terms of just moving back to targets, Joe was always very vocal about it. He wanted to win the world title, and that was just still a big part of his career. As soon as he did it, it became all about his family. Do you understand that mindset? And that's his fighter today, just like
We all as fighters, our main goal in our lifelong team is to win the world title. Once you win the world title, the next step is to become financially secure. Yourself and Carl know that story. You took that story on, you started to keep doing it. For someone like him now, with Cordina, it's a happy day and very in about an hour because you can live in this game, that day. And you've got to be ready to go because the next fight will be his last. If you take one of that dangerous things on, so you have to make sure it's the right fight after the right one. You can't listen, he makes the fight you got it, you should watch the internet about this. It should be showing he's good at the face the best, but it's a stack division.
Even when he was there, I mean, they had an opponent who was supposedly easier with less knockouts on him. Joe had said that there was no free to this guy, but his knockout ratio looked good, and that's why I picked him, so I wanted to be switched on. And that's a fighter who wants to get he wants to do something with his career, and he's not just getting easy touches, so you gotta respect that, but it is a tough division. There's a couple more fights, and Joe should put his name amongst them top contenders.
And then, well, the world gives us back to winning ways. Like to see Joe, that he was all the big names at 135 pounds. And coming up after the break is our top of the bill, the EUBANK I'll back Harlan looking to keep EUBANK supremacy alive, while Jack Catterall faces a must-needed return to winning ways.
Last time wasn't good enough.
Jack Catterall beaten for only the second time in his career.
This is a new chapter for Jack Catterall.
This is my moment, my chance, my opportunity. Time to burst onto the world stage.
A moment of brilliance from Harlan EUBANK.
Harlan EUBANK, a solid fighter, he's not on my level.
He keeps talking about levels. Show me.
I have to win this fight to keep my dreams alive. I don't think it's personal, but I'm going to teach him a few things in there.
What am I going to learn from him? Nothing.
His ego isn't going to be the same.
I will be victorious.
EUBANK supremacy is over.
I'm going to show him what the warrior code is all about.
This isn't the warrior code. This is the CATTERALL code. Harlan EUBANK. See you soon.
El Gato, he's like captain of the ship, and he's late.
Stuck in traffic, well.
You can't be late, no matter what, even if he's just a bit of crap. You need absolute ripping in the so we're stuck to one side.
Hello. Time to come back.
Traffic close.
Is that late?
Wednesday morning, 10:30, 11:15. It's a big day today, it's a sparring day, so Shai's kind of come up from Essex to do some sparring. We've been using him for the last couple of weeks. Great work with him. So we're going to spar today, probably get 8 rounds out. We're going to refuel, get a coffee, and then we're going to track this afternoon. So Wednesday's a big day today.
I'm over 100 rounds of Harlan, so I know Harlan very well. Started my career with Adam Booth, so yeah, I know Harlan. And then obviously I've got a southpaw for my fight, so needed Jack as well. To be honest, he hasn't really asked me much. I think he's got a game plan. I think he's focused. More like I'm got a suitable style. Like I'm similar to Harlan, so it kind of benefits him, but not really asked me what he needs to do. He's just focused.
For me, I came into boxing very late. Started in karate as a kid, done it for 4 years, won 2 British titles, got my black belt, and starting secondary school at the age of 11, I went into football. Picked it up very quickly, and within a year I was playing for Brighton Hove Albion. I've always liked to put myself in an environment where I'm pushing myself to the limit and achieving. And I found boxing after falling out of love with football. And at 18 years of age, walked into the boxing gym. And you're getting punched in the face, and you're trying to figure this out. Feeling how hard the sport is, and how real it is from the jump. You can either shy away from it, or you can dedicate yourself to it and learn how to develop in the art form, and that's what I chose to do.
Charlie, you run quite a tight ship in here, don't you?
I'll do until you lot come in. You know what I mean?
We're not spotting, are we?
Yes, you are, Giz.
No.
You're on the other side.
No, we're not.
No, you are. I'm sorry.
This is for the zone.
Listen, man's wearing a match on top. And you think you're in spies? Huh? You're wearing a match on top? No, my man there, wearing a match on top. Alright, warm up tag, let's go. What people don't see, they're now seeing Harlan EUBANK at a big fight, but what they haven't seen with all the small ball shows, the fights, leisure centres where he's got to sleep in my van for a Sunday weigh-in, all things like that. It builds resilience, it builds character. I see a man who's grown into a real fighter because of his strength of character and his mindset.
With more than 185 fights a year as part of your DAZN subscription, do remember to keep checking out your DAZN schedule. Big fights all the time here on DAZN, and we're also big on the football here too. Well and truly on. We're heading to next week's Club World Cup final here on the Zone. Then, of course, it's back to boxing as Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois battle it out once again. This time for undisputed heavyweight glory on July 19th at Wembley Stadium. August sees unbeaten heavyweight prospect Moses Atama take on fellow Brit Dillian White in Saudi Arabia during the Esports World Cup Fight Week, all live on the Zone. And welcome back to Manchester. Jack Catterall against the unbeaten Harlem EUBANK is fast approaching. Two men who are very confident of having their hands raised and moving on to the world stage after tonight.
Coming off a defeat last time out, really put me in a position where I must secure a victory.
This is a world-class fight. That is the level that I'm going up to. You know, when I win, it puts me in a whole new sphere.
That's brilliant if Harlem thinks he can come stop me Saturday, meet me in the middle of the ring and show me, but I don't believe he will.
He doesn't know what I'm capable of, and that is going to play out in the ring.
Over the years, we've had opponents say X, Y, and Z. I know what I've got to do, and we'll leave him to do what he thinks he can do Saturday.
I'm in the shape of my life, ready to go in there and shock the world, you know, make a statement.
Harlem's operated at a good domestic level. Don't think he's been beyond that yet. That being said, he gets the opportunity to share the ring with me on Saturday, and we'll see where he's at.
I believe that I'm capable of world honours, and this is the fight that opens all the doors to go and win a world title.
I expect Harlem to come out the blocks fast, and I think after a couple of rounds, I'll shut him down and get the job done for me Saturday night.
Well, here we go then, gents. The countdown is nearly over because the talking is very nearly done. Main event time fast approaching here in Manchester. When you think about Harlem EUBANK, first of all, unbeaten through 21 fights, has come up the hard way on the smaller shows, broke through recently, hasn't he, against mutual opponents of Jack Catterall. But it seems that this is the real big chance to show us what he can do.
Absolutely, it's the acid test for him, and he has impressed in his last few fights, but we'll know a lot more about how good Harlem EUBANK is after this fight. You know, Jack Catterall is a world-class fighter. I mean, he has been criticised. I've criticised him as well for sometimes just not going through the gears, but we'll know a lot more about Harlem EUBANK. He's up against tonight. I think that Jack is easily the toughest opponent of his career. His biggest win is probably Schwarzkopf, I think. It was a good win, but it was a few fights ago. Jack's gotta be the favourite, but I want to see gears from Jack. Keep talking about it. I want to see what I've seen in the gym. World class at times, and we've seen world class performances on fight night. But let's see what he's like up at welterweight, and I think we're going to see a good performance.
So the Harlem keeps talking about maintaining that EUBANK supremacy, of course, recently buoyed by his cousin Chris EUBANK Jr.'s win against Conor Benn. Does that add pressure, or will he freed off that?
Has nothing to do with tonight, Jake. Absolute players have no relevance whatsoever. Two totally different people. For me, this is the make or break fight. If Jack Catterall really loses this, there's nowhere to go. With all the pressure on Jack Catterall, there is no pressure on Harlem EUBANK. And I say that because he's an unknown quantity. He's not expected to win this. He's jumping 3 levels tonight in one fight. Not 2 levels, 3 levels. He's bypassed British, European and world title levels. He's going in here with, you know, who in my opinion at one time was the best light welterweight in the world when he beat Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall. So he's got it all to show. I'm not saying he can't because we don't know his limitations yet. He's undefeated. But for me, it's Jack Catterall, baby.
What changes do you expect to see Carl in Jack tonight at 147?
I think maybe the lack of going through the gears was down to the weight. I never thought Jack was someone who would struggle, but maybe it's just we're going to see a rejuvenated version of him up at the weight, then max a few pounds, just gives him something else to play with. I think that always when he fights, there was a concern about blowing out and conserving energy. And Jack, I mean, he could get rid of a lot of guys who were just happy to win on points. So I want to see a more aggressive performance from Jack. And I think Harlem, we're going to see Harlem be aggressive and go forward. And I think that could suit him.
Okay, here we go then. Main event time from Manchester. On the Zone, the Warrior Code, Jack Catterall versus Harlem EUBANK.
Here's your MC, David Diamante.
Manchester, England, this is the moment of truth, and there's no turning back. Now, entering the arena, Harlem EUBANK. The name EUBANK, synonymous with boxing, known for drama, showmanship, and super egos. Here's the humble, quieter, conscientious, but equally confident member of the famous fighting family. It's the intelligent and unbeaten Harlem EUBANK. He jumped at this gateway opportunity. As Tony said earlier, he's up in levels big time. He's away from home and he's even on a different network. Here on the zone, we are treated to the likeable lad who promises he is ready now for world class. Unbeaten in 21, this is the moment of truth. Darren, for Harlem EUBANK. Time to shine, time to show the world, and most importantly yourself, how good you are. He's been talking about EUBANK supremacy and he wants to be a big part of that. Follow in the footsteps of his uncle Chris, cousin Junior. This is his moment, but he's in with a very good fighter in Jack Catterall. Here he comes into the ring. Kieran Malloy just passes me, the southpaw undefeated, who's been working so closely with Harlem EUBANK. It's a tight team, and they're ready to go. And now, entering the arena, CATTERALL. They absolutely love him here. The super skilled, the slick, and ever so popular Jack Catterall returning to the big stage once again. It's a serious arena for a serious job and time in his intriguing career. Those tense moments before battle. Arnold Barbosa Jr. Some felt he threw all his good work away. Can he rebound to return to the level we know he's capable of? It's pretty much, Sonny, a must-win, or at least a must-perform night for Castle.
Where does it put him here, Adam, if he doesn't? Fighting against Harlem EUBANK almost seems like he must win, because he's always been seen at that level above him, Adam.
Both of them look so ready to go. And Mr. Stowland on one side, Eddie Hearn on the other. This is what boxing's all about. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome everybody here tonight to the AO Arena in the fighting city of Manchester, England. We are live on the zone for the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the WBA International and the IBF Intercontinental Welterweight Championship. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing in association with Wasserman Boxing. We're sponsored tonight by Betfred, Trip, Riyadh Season, That Prize Guy, Tom Life Insurance, Victory Live, and Everlast. This bout is sanctioned under the auspices of the British Boxing Board of Control. The steward in charge is Suzanne Potts. The World Boxing Association. The president is Gilberto Jesus Mendoza. The supervisor is Ron Devet. The International Boxing Federation. The president, Dale J. Peoples. The supervisor is Tony T. Marie. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside. All from England, Steve Gray, John Latham, and Marcus McDonald. And at the sound of the bell, your third man in the ring, A-star referee, Mr. Bob Williams. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the stage is set, and we are here. This is it. The time has come. I said the time has come. Let's motherfucking go. From the 4 corners of the world to the 4 corners of this ring right here in Manchester, England. The fight starts now! Introducing first, fighting in the red corner, he wears solid white. He scaled 10 stones, 6 pounds, 5 ounces. His professional record, perfect. 21 fights, 21 victories, with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the reigning, defending, undefeated IBF Intercontinental Welterweight Champion, fighting out of Brighton, England, Harlem EUBANK. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the red torch to the blue line. This skill set posted exactly the same at 10 stones, 6 pounds, 5 ounces. Professional record, 30 victories, 2 defeats, and 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former British and WBO European and Intercontinental Junior Welterweight Champion and the former World Title Challenger, fighting out of Surrey, England, and CATTERALL.
going to play our commands. When you have any been knocked down, the fight is standing, it goes to the furthest end of the ball of the stadium. Protect yourself at all times, touch gloves.
Eyeball to eyeball, real intensity in this fabled Manchester arena. Seen of so many classic fights over the last couple of decades and more. Here's another compelling main event. A super matchup. Jack Catterall making the move into the welterweight waters, and Harlem Eubank unbeaten, but some would say not fully tested, rising to a major challenge in class and surroundings. First stanzas here may be key, Darren.
Yeah, I think rhythm behind the jab early doors is going to be important. Tempo of the fight equally is important. We see that against Barboza. Catterall just didn't really get going, whereas Barboza Jr. did. He was first, he was third, he was sharp. Can Harlem Eubank learn from that contest?
Both fighters very switchy with their lead hand. Neither looking to commit in the first 30 seconds, but you can expect that.
The orthodox against the southpaw, that wand of a right hand from Catterall that served him so well, and there's the jab as he used it, and the backhand as well. If he gets into a rhythm early, then Jamie Moore and the team will be extremely confident. Harlem Eubank surely suddenly has got to break him up here.
Yeah, but I feel like what he's doing there, backing up and making Jack come forward, I think that's how Barboza beat him and caused Catterall so much problem. Now, when Jack's got his feet under him and he's moving in the right direction, which for him is usually backward, he's almost impossible to hit with a clean shot. But in that Barboza, he was chasing the fight, and the rounds just were going away from him.
But Eubank's not Barboza. How good is he? 21-0, 9 knockouts, the cousins of Chris Jr. Began boxing at 18. He played football as a kid. He came to it late. Catterall, much more than natural boxer.
But I think over the last couple of years, Eubank's career has really gone from strength to strength. I think he picked up some good wins, some good performances as well. That already even fighting Jack Catterall, I think a lot of people maybe 4 or 5 years ago, oh, good shot. But they would never would have saw that coming of him.
Yeah, that was good. Brought his feet in there. Jack Catterall steps in with a 1-2. And if he is going to be proactive on the front foot, those feet are going to be so important that he brings them in. Doesn't want to be falling short with the left hand.
Not sure Eubank saw that left hand of Catterall's coming. The speed he might carry to welterweight, that could be a factor as well. Twitchy start from the pair of them. Just trying to solve the puzzle. It could be like that. Eubank jumping in, trying to surprise Catterall. Quiet opener, Darren, but maybe one that Catterall's nicked.
Yeah, I think he landed the cleaner shots. This is the issue with Jack Catterall. Be it, I know what you're saying, Sonny, when he's on the back foot. I just feel he's always then having to wait and be a bit, a bit of a stalemate at times. I think he's just trying to learn from the Barboza fight. Be more proactive, let his shots go.
Welcome back, wonderful welterweight matchup. Barry, how did you see the first round, these key opening moves?
Well, it was always going to be cagey because they both, counter punches both ways. But I just thought Catterall a bit better there. I think the fact that he's so good and Eubank has to work everything off the jab, I think he just suited Catterall a bit better, jumped into his steps a little bit more effectively.
The predominantly black trunks with Riley, his daughter, on the waistband in blue of the 31-year-old from Chorley, who's got a massive support here. Jack Catterall and the all-white of Harlem Eubank, also 31 from Brighton. coming off that victory over Tyrone McKenna. As you said, son, he's had some good wins. He really handles himself well, Harlem Eubank, and this is the big step up, and he'll answer his own questions tonight.
Yeah, and I feel like both fighters that they landed, I think the first round he's showing a little bit of nervous energy. I think he was trying to snatch at a few shots, and I think Jack just fell into a bit more of a rhythm easier, but again, expected in this matchup, I think.
Yeah, fighting at world class. And Eubank doing it for the first time, trying to double up on the jab. Charlie B applauding him in the corner. Right smile from Eubank this time. Catterall in the opener. It's a chess match, Darren.
Yeah, and I think 2 phases required. Both throwing the jab or the 1-2 and on quite a lot of occasions already, just falling short. That's when you bring your feet in and go again. So who can make that adjustment? Bring the feet closer to their opponent.
And right there, for me, that was trademark classic Catterall his whole career. But we didn't see any of that in his last fight. He wasn't reacting. He wasn't staying in this sort of pocket with his feet under him and then making the right steps.
He looks so much better already, Jack Catterall. I think the Barboza Jr. was a wake-up call. He sort of let that slip. No disrespect to Barboza, but last couple of rounds, Catterall almost threw it away, didn't do anything. And I think he's really woken up. He knows how important this night is. There's no real pressure for Harlem Eubank, but there is on Jack Catterall.
Yeah, do you know what? I think there is pressure on Harlem Eubank, if I'm honest, because this is the fight he needs. He needs to win this, albeit it's a step up in levels. You know, he comes into this fight unbeaten. He has aspirations to be in big fights of his own. If he loses this fight, you know, you're dropping back down levels. So he'll be putting pressure on himself, and rightly so.
But he's not expected to win. It's almost like a free hand, isn't it?
Do you know what? I don't know, because you're always putting pressure on yourself as a fighter. You always want to win, regardless of who you're fighting.
He believes he's world class, Sonny. This is the time to prove it, because we know Catterall is.
Yeah, this is his chance to show it, but the problem is when you've been sort of waiting for this moment, it needs a little bit more for you, and sometimes good shot landing from Catterall there, but sometimes that can make you hyper-focused, fixating maybe the wrong thing sometimes.
Sharp left hand from Catterall. He looks smoother, doesn't he? More relaxed, more rhythm. First 2 rounds for the local boy. Everything for a reason. Jamie Moore in the corner. He's settled well, Barry, hasn't he?
He has, but these rounds where no one's doing really, no one's thinking about the scruff of the neck, and that's typical sort of Catterall, really, where he's happy just to frustrate you and do enough. And I just think you don't want to be in that situation for too long.
Yeah, but when you're counting rounds like that, very, very close action throughout, but then the 2 or 3 clean shots for Jack, it's almost like you can't score the round against him, man. Jack became such a top-level fighter because it was very hard to win a round against. Every round that you won, you had to really invest into it.
He was absolutely brilliant, wasn't he, that night? With all the controversy, first time against Josh Taylor. Should have been crowned, wasn't. Eventually got the rematch and got the job done. I thought he won easier the first time, but he's had tough nights, and he's not had that world title around him. He almost deserves it, but he's 31, and he's still got to go out there and get it.
Yeah, I think, bit of an awkward fall there, but both fighters came out without the scale.
He's starting to feint a fair bit at the start of this round, Harlem Eubank, and I think he's got to immediately punch off the feint. Feint jab, go again, bring your feet in. He's got to be busier.
I think a couple of signs there that Jack was just there, using his lead hand to close that and get the distance. Better range there from Jack.
Jack to the body, then the left hand from CATTERALL. Just leaning back on the shot, the body stays where it is, then you can bring that front foot in and then look to the left hand.
It's looking classy here, Jack CATTERALL. That left hand is working. EUBANK just out of range. And you can hear the crowd here getting behind the man from Chorley. EUBANK has got to try and break this pattern, break the rhythm.
And I think Harlem's biggest problem here right now is when he's going 100%, but there's no stop, there's no control when he gets there. And Jack's just coming out of the way and almost making him fall over his own feet, fall into the ropes. He's been made to look clumsy a few times here so far.
Quite like the variation as well from CATTERALL. Look, it's not a high tempo fight, far from it so far, but you know, he's having passages on the front foot and on the back foot, just mixing it up a little bit, constantly keeping EUBANK thinking.
And if you look what Jack's doing with his lead hand, he's timing his movements to when Harlem's moving his head. Every time he comes over that forward foot a little bit, that's when he's poking it out, and he might not always throw it as a complete jab, but he's just stopping him from getting any sort of ring generalship in the pocket.
It's magic, it's jab when it works. CATTERALL is to leverage his foot movement. We heard he wasn't the best runner when he first came to Jamie Moore, but he's worked on that and he's got himself absolutely spot on for this. He knows it's make or break, and again he tries the combination. EUBANK just not landing really at the moment.
That was good, that left hand. He threw it to the body of Harlem EUBANK. Landed, he's missed a couple of the left hand upstairs.
Nice body shot, just gets out the way of the return as well. Good round for Jack CATTERALL.
Really good round. And EUBANK, it's frustrating. Apart from that little tumble, boxing nicely, Jack CATTERALL.
Yeah, look, he does, Jack. He frustrates you, he little steps back, and then you jump into an attack and you miss. All that does, that makes you think twice before you want to attack again. And then when you're overthinking it, he darts with a 1-2. And he did that on 4 occasions in that round, certainly 3. And that wins in the round. Also, as Sonny was saying earlier, he just does enough to win the round, and you're chasing the round. He's got the fight in a minute. That was a fearless round in the pattern that he wants. If he can maintain this, it's going to be hard for Harlem. Harlem's got to mount his attacks steadily and carefully.
He's got jumping up in levels because he's in with the former world champion in fight number 33. EUBANK unbeaten in 21. Good wins on the slate, but not the same sort of fights that CATTERALL's had at the top level. Regis Pro Ring was a big win.
Yeah, and look, those 2 fights with Josh Taylor stood him in perfect stead. Linares as well. But I think right now the biggest problem Harlem EUBANK is struggling to overcome is he's trying to throw his punches from too far out. He's loading them up when he's out of range, and Jack's already starting at the edge of range. So all he's got to do is a half adjustment, and he's falling short every time.
Yeah, and it comes across as a bit of lacking confidence. You're not really committed to your shots and your attacks. That's better. Look, he brought the feet in at least there, but it was good footwork in reply from Jack CATTERALL, just gliding out of range.
And that's why I think the confidence is going, because right now, he's not really finding the target at all, let alone with a light shot, maybe looking for a heavy shot. He's struggling to get any scoring points, really, EUBANK here.
Tried the right hand there, almost landed Harlem EUBANK. He's got 3 stoppages in his last 4, so he's really got momentum here. And he's the natural welterweight. That's an incredible shape, and that's better from EUBANK, and he just bangs his gloves together. And that's the first bit of success. He's just got to build on that confidence.
It's a lovely shot that was. Straight through the guard of CATTERALL. Took it well though.
Both fighters having a look at each other, just trying to get a different way in. Dropping their shoulder a bit, changing their starting point, but right now it's whoever goes first seeming to lose the exchange.
A lot of posturing, a lot of thinking here, wasting energy as well at times. I mean, right hand from Eubank, it's a better round for him.
Yeah, I think it's probably the best round so far. I don't know if I'd go as far as saying he's won this round, but a more competitive and less success landing from Catterall.
Yeah, he's starting to roll the dice a little bit more, isn't he? You know, he's starting to bring his foot a bit closer. He's looking to take that step on the outside of the southpaw stance and look for the right hand. Just need to see more of it.
Just switched southpaw momentarily, trying to befuddle Catterall. Eubank dancing around, maybe that's a little bit of the old family name and history, the showmanship. But he's certainly getting closer here, Harlem Eubank.
It's almost like trying to walk him onto a nice clean shot. He's trying to get Jack over his front foot and then catch him with that nice left hook that he's loaded up a couple of times this round.
I think he's enjoyed this round, Harlem Eubank. For the first time, he smiles as he goes back to his corner. Let's get over to Charlie to see how TMA and Jordan and Josh are seeing it.
Thank you, Adam. TMA, how have we got it so far? Looks like Catterall's been fantastic, but Harlem's starting to get into it a little bit.
I think it's a very technical fight, but I've got it down as a draw at the moment. They're both the exact same.
Jordan, what are you making of what you've seen so far? Touch and go. I think they're both being very cautious, feeling each other out. It's hard to split the two of them. They've both landed some really good effective shots, but no one's really running away with it right now. Josh, you've got it a draw so far. What do you make, and how do you think it's going to go as we go down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, Jack's just got the basics down. He's mastered the basics. I think Harlem's struggling to close him down, but he's trying and he's doing the right thing so far.
Cheers, mate. Back to the guys on commentary.
TMA, they had that electrifying professional debut a couple of weeks ago. Scores in a draw. Jordan Thompson hopes to be back soon. We've missed him in the ring. Has it a draw? And Josh Panley, what a year he's had. Absolutely fantastic. Has it a draw as well? Barry, do you agree, or have you got Catterall up?
No, I think I got Catterall up. I do think he's just a bit sharper with his work. And Eubank, again, he's got to get from A to B quicker. And he's got to use his quickness, and that's the secret. So he's got to throw, almost block almost, and then he's going to be a counter attack, and then flurry when he's got Catterall close to him.
Yeah, I agree. I got Catterall ahead. It was a better round from Eubank, wasn't it? As we pointed out, I say Jack Catterall landed a lovely left hand a moment ago. Beautiful shot, straight through the guard again of Eubank. He's sliding up a bit defensively. But this is good pressure again, varying up where he's positioned himself in the ring. Catterall, he's happy to be backside. The Sonny pointed out a very good counter puncher, but then every now and again he'll put the pressure on.
Nice work there as well there. And Catterall trying to find the uppercut. Eubank managed to just fall short a bit, but you can see the punch variation and how effortless it comes out. There's no tell, there's no show, there's no big load up to fire a powerful punch from Catterall. Everything is about boxing in its purest form.
Yeah, he's very relaxed, isn't he? Eubank just trying to crack him on the inside. A couple of jabs going for Eubank. Has got through with one or two, but he just can't seem to get Catterall out of his comfort zone. That's what Barboza Jr. did. Just worked really hard and Catterall couldn't go with him.
Yeah, and he had razor sharp hands, didn't he, Barboza? So quick. I think it surprised Catterall.
And it just looks like Harlem's working a little bit harder, I'd say. It just looks like he's expending a little bit more energy, a bit more bouncy, a bit more shoulder movements, where Jack's really just cruising right now, I feel.
Yeah, Eubank's finding it a lot harder to find the openings, isn't he? Having to really think about what he's going to do. That's a good right hand.
Yeah, good right hand. Applauding in the corner, Charlie Beck, Kieran Malloy in there. There's a lot of work Eubank's doing on the back foot, utilising every bit of the ring to try to stay out of the way of that jab of Catterall and come back in with raise.
I just think he needs to do a better job at hiding them bursts, because he does look quite dangerous when he's letting his hands go, Harlem. And he is catching up to the target, but it's just all a bit 100 miles an hour right now.
It's a tough puzzle to solve, isn't it?
Oh, very, very tricky.
Great selling, isn't it? The Manchester Arena. Ricky Hatton lit up this place 20 years ago. Been in Costa Shoe. So many wonderful nights. Jamie Moore in the corner. Barry all pretty calm in the blue corner there for Jack Catterall. It's one of the tactical affairs we thought it might be, which the Geordie guys just getting the edge on.
It's sort of fights in his box with his pace, the way he likes it. Fighters rushing their work to try and get close to the target and then be able to pick him off. The EUBANK's had a little bit of success, but he's trying to get to the target too quick and slither in his own work.
It's spot on though in the corner. Nigel Travis there, as you said, the second phase attack. Look, building it, go again, get this crowd on their feet.
No fighter again, given a single inch in those clinches. They're really coming together, but still wrestling the way through. That's why they've ended up on the ground a couple of times already.
Yeah, second time that's happened. It really is this intriguing chess match.
On the feet, Harlem Eubank's foot.
Yeah,
resting on top of Catterall.
Yeah. Trying to get the better of the southpaw. Remember how Barrera beat Naz out in Vegas and he went around the right lead foot. Boxed beautifully, didn't he, Barrera, that night? Classic against the southpaw.
Yes, oh, good shot from Catterall. The response just avoided, but 100%. Sometimes it's that clash of styles, and we're dependent on how you've been matched. You might not have faced too many to get to this point, and then especially when you might not have faced the southpaw of a lower level, let alone going all the way to the top, it's definitely a puzzle.
I always like to see variation against southpaws. You know, mix it up, go on the outside, throw the long left hooks, then go inside with the jab to the body, the right hand upstairs. Just keep the southpaw thinking all the time.
Just out of range with his jab though, Harlem Eubank. How many quality punches has he landed so far, Eubank?
Probably a handful, but even then I think he's not had his balance in his feet to really generate the most amount of power. He's been coming over his front foot to get him a lot of the time, or really extending his backhand through the middle. I think Jack's done a very good job at taking off most of this thing now. I think Jack's caught home a few more shots and a few more shots of note, but not too much volume at the same time.
The discipline of Catterall, you know, we commend all the time. Very, very good. There was a moment ago that he threw a lazy left to the body. It was a straight shot. Any kind of lazy shots that come out, there's not many from Catterall. They need to be countered. He can't waste those opportunities.
Just clashing heads there. And again, nasty count, Catterall. And Eubank as well. Left guard Eubank came first, I think. And then Catterall has been cut as well, and he's really angry about that. And that could be a real problem. But can't go back to his corner. I don't know what's going on there. Both of them are. Bob Williams trying to wrestle control, but the fighters seem just to ignore it.
And neither of them cuts are in the best position. They're both right just above the eye. Hopefully, the sweat just takes it out.
It's one than the other,
And I think Harlem first, when they come together, and as soon as they come together for the next exchange, that's where Jack got cut. That's what it looked like to me, but Jack looks a lot like
it looks bad. It's a terrible cut. The Catterall's one. Eubank's bounced to the floor.
Awful.
It's awful. It's absolutely wide open. It's a horrendous cut for Jack Catterall. This might go to the cards.
This won't go further much longer, I do not think.
The referee needs to be having a look at this. He needs to, this is unbelievable. I can see from here.
The doctor needs to look at that. Dave Atlas calling for the doctor to come in. I'm not sure this can carry on. It's a savage cut for Jack Catterall. Kerry Case to anything about it. He's a brilliant cutsman. One of the best cornermen in the business, Kerry. There for Ricky Hatton all those years ago, and now he's got to try and save Jack Catterall.
onto the eye there and catch up, but Catterall's like going back, it looked like it was hanging up pretty much. And I don't think, if it was as bad as what I think it is, that won't continue.
Bob Williams having a look. Kerry Case has done his work. They patched him up. Time out. The doctor's going to have a look, and that's the right decision. Medically, he has to be assessed. EUBANK weights also cut, but not nearly as badly. Well, they're saying it's a bad cut, but they're going to allow him to carry on. Jack Catterall, second half of this one. Welterweight, the crowd love it. The fact that it's been allowed to continue. I think the doctor's looking at Harlan's cut in the other corner. Bob Williams talking to the officials. What happens next here? It's over. That's it. Called. It's EUBANK's one.
To me, it looked like the doctor from Harlan's corner was the one that said something to the ref. From Jack's corner, he said, "You have a bad cut." Jack went, "I'm all right, let's go." And it turned. The doctor in the corner of Harlem EUBANK was still speaking to the referee when the other corner doctor had sat down.
Chaos here. Harlem EUBANK celebrating. Jack Catterall just bewildered by this. Bob Williams stops the fight. And the sort of intriguing chess match comes to a bizarre finish.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on, if I'm honest. I mean, yeah, look, as Sonny said, the doctor in Harlem EUBANK's corner wasn't happy with the cut. But, I mean, Jack Catterall looks far worse. It's terrible. You can see the doctor mouth is a bad cut. I think he probably was going to give it a round or two more tops. So I'm assuming we're going to the scorecards.
Yes, scorecards. WBA, International, IBF, Intercontinental on the line.
Yeah, I think the referee's keeping down a clash of heads. If it's a clash of heads.
That's a lame fight, bro. That's a fucking lame fight, man. Wasting my fucking time. Stop the bullshit.
It's obviously the scorecards, yeah. If it's done by a punch, then obviously the fight with the cut loses the fight. But the fact that it was he deemed it a clash of heads, when you go to the scorecard, you would suspect that Catterall will get the win.
For both cuts, clash of heads, Catterall's worse, but it seems that EUBANK's doctor, or that corner, curtailed the fight. It's, well, we've seen it all in boxing, Sonny. It's a strange finish. It's a bit unsatisfactory for both fighters. Catterall will get the win.
I think so, if it goes to the scorecards the way we expect it to. Obviously, we didn't hear no official confirmation of how the fight has been called to a stop. But I think the way that the cuts came together, I don't think neither fighter was going in, trying to use their head, trying to do damage with it. But where the orthodox southpaw, and it was so poised at the edge of range, there was tension. And when it was going, there was both triggering to each other.
They both chipped into their attacks, don't they? That's why. And so it was inevitable it was going to happen at some point.
But it's like they were both waiting, and it was like a quick draw. And when one went, the other one went with him, and they was coming together with a lot of velocity.
The crowd, it really is bad. The crowd's unhappy. I remember a year or so ago, Jack Pinkston and Danny Quartermain were both cut early, and the fight was called off. These things do happen in boxing, and we wait and see how the judges have it, what Bob Williams is going to say officially.
They're taking their time with the scorecards.
They are taking their time. Jack Catterall waits. Jamie Moore doesn't seem happy. Meanwhile, a fortnight's time, the undisputed heavyweight world championship. Daniel Lavoie gets his big opportunity after that win over AJ.
What a lame fucking night, bro. Fucking wasting my time for this fucking stupid cunting headbutt. Fuck off, you cunt. Fuck off, you cunt. Fucking rubbish. Man, I'm out of here, bro. I'm gonna go continue my night, bro.
I'm going to the kebab shop. Fuck this shit. I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys on the next live on the other channel, all right? Fucking headbutt. What a cunt. A fucking headbutt. And then that's it. A fucking headbutt, bro. Man, I don't want to see CATTERALL or Harlem EUBANK for a long time. I don't want to see both of them, bro. You understand? Don't waste my time out here, bro. Fucking only 5 people came to the live. What a fucking embarrassment. Man, no contest, bullshit draw. Fuck off, you cunt. Fuck off. No, it was all right, though. We had a good fight with Joe Cordina, though, innit? Joe Cordina's fight was good. That was a good fight. I don't know what's going on over here, bro, but this is lame. This is lame, bro. This is lame. But, yo, let's go. Here comes the scores. Who you got?